The sun rose over the human colony on the far planet, and Queen Elizabeth walked among her people. She watched as John and Lisa prepared for the daily exploration mission. The planet was full of dangerous terrain and strange creatures. But the humans were ready to face the challenges. David checked the equipment, and Maria gathered supplies. Alex carried the medical kit for emergencies. The humans were strong and well-trained. Queen Elizabeth spoke to them calmly, reminding them to stay alert and help each other. The humans nodded and set out on the rocky path. A sudden tremor shook the ground and Kyle fell, hitting a large rock. He groaned but tried to get up quickly. The humans rushed to him and helped him stand. He smiled and said it was nothing, a scratch. Queen Elizabeth looked at him and shook her head. She knew humans had a different way to handle pain far away. The alien doctors observed the humans with wide eyes. They had never seen a species so tough. They scanned Kyle and saw 17 broken bones. But Kyle barely reacted. He laughed and moved as if nothing happened. The alien doctors were confused. They could not understand how anyone could survive such injuries. John and Lisa continued on the path, while Maria and David supported Kyle. They climbed over cliffs and waded through shallow streams. The humans worked as a team and faced every obstacle without fear. Queen Elizabeth watched from a distance, proud of her people. The aliens took notes and whispered among themselves at the top of a high ridge. The humans stopped to rest. Kyle sat down and examined his bruises. He smiled and said, "It was just a scratch." Lisa laughed and helped him bandage his arms. David and Maria checked the equipment, while John scanned the area for threats. The humans were disciplined and focused on their mission. Queen Elizabeth called the humans over. She reminded them that every mission had risks, and that they must protect each other. Humans listened carefully. They respected their queen and followed her instructions. The bond between the humans was strong and unbreakable. The aliens continued to study them, trying to learn the secret of their resilience. As they moved forward, the terrain became harsher. Steep rocks and deep crevices slowed their progress. Kyle tripped again and fell. His leg bent strangely, but he stood up and smiled. Lisa and John helped him and praised his bravery. The humans encouraged each other, never complained. The alien doctors recorded everything, amazed at the human spirit. The sun started to set, and the humans made camp. Queen Elizabeth joined them and inspected the minor injuries. She nodded approvingly. Humans prepared food and shared stories of the day. Kyle showed his bandages and laughed, saying it was nothing. The humans admired each other's courage and strength. The aliens watched quietly, learning more about human endurance. During the night, a strong wind blew, and the humans secured their tents. Queen Elizabeth walked among them, checking each person. She spoke softly to them, reminding them of their strength and the importance of teamwork. The humans felt comforted by her presence. They were ready for whatever challenges awaited them. John and Lisa discussed the next mission carefully. They knew the planet was dangerous, but humans were built to survive every obstacle. The alien doctors took more notes, realizing humans were unlike any species they had ever studied. They could not believe how much humans could endure and remain calm. The night passed and the humans rested, preparing for a new day filled with challenges. Kyle laughed as he moved around his bandages, saying it was just a scratch. Queen Elizabeth smiled, watching the humans sleep, proud of their courage, determination, and resilience. The aliens continued to study them, understanding that humans were not just strong but extraordinary in every way. The humans prepared for their next exploration. On the rocky hills, John and Lisa checked equipment and supplies. David and Maria studied maps, and Alex fueled the vehicles. The human Queen Elizabeth gathered everyone. She spoke calmly about the dangers they could face and reminded them to stay alert and work together. Mark volunteered to lead the climb. He wanted to test human strength and courage. The group set out early. The sun glowed red over the hills. The ground was uneven, and sharp rocks cut the boots of the humans. They moved carefully, but quickly Mark fell once he rolled over a ridge. But he got up with a small smile and said, "Oh, that is a scratch." The humans laughed quietly. They admired his calmness. Even in pain, they continued to climb higher and higher. The winds grew stronger, and the sky changed colors. The humans kept moving. David slipped on loose stones. He fell, but quickly got up with a bruise on his arm. Lisa helped him and smiled at his strength. They reached a plateau. The view was breathtaking. There were rivers and forests below, and strange rock formations around the plateau. The humans studied the area. They took notes and collected samples. Mark found a small plant and handed it to Maria. He said it might help in medicine. She nodded and took it carefully. The alien doctors followed closely. They recorded every step and every reaction of the humans they saw. How humans walked with broken bones and bruises. It kept going. They were amazed by the endurance and spirit of humans. John lifted a heavy rock that blocked a path. He grunted but did not complain. The humans worked together to clear the way. Lisa guided them through the safest path. Alex drove the vehicle up the slope. Carefully, the humans reached a ridge where the winds were harsh and stones fell around them. Mark steadied a rope and helped David and Maria climb safely. The alien doctors watched their teamwork. They tried to understand how humans could stay calm and strong. The humans set up a small camp on the ridge. Queen Elizabeth checked everyone for injuries. She gave small advice and encouraged them to rest. Some humans had bruises and scratches, but they barely mentioned them. Mark laughed softly. He said humans learn to survive and move on. The alien doctors were quiet. They could not hide their fascination. They scanned the humans gently, trying to understand how 17 broken bones could be ignored. Mark told stories about his past missions. He said humans face pain daily, yet keep moving. He explained that courage was more than fear. It was action in the face of danger. The humans ate and rested. They shared small jokes and laughed. Quietly under the red sky, John and Lisa cleaned their equipment and checked for damages. David and Maria studied the land and made notes. Alex repaired tools for the next day. The night was cold and clear. The stars shone above. Humans huddled in their small campfires. Mark looked at the sky and said, humans are built to face the unknown. We do not fear pain. We move forward. Queen Elizabeth nodded. She felt proud of her people. She knew the planet would bring more challenges, but the humans were ready and strong. The alien doctors continued to observe. They recorded every conversation and movement. They were learning much about human endurance. They whispered among themselves about the toughness of humans and how, unlike any other species they had seen, the humans slept briefly. They were alert even in rest. They planned the next climb and the next exploration. The ground was still harsh and the wind would change again, but humans were ready. Mark whispered to David and Lisa, we will climb higher, we will see more, and we will survive. They smiled at him. They trusted him and felt inspired. The humans rested until dawn. They would start the next mission with courage and teamwork. They would face the dangers of the planet and show the strength and endurance that only humans could have. The humans prepared for another day of exploration. The planet was harsh and full of dangers. Queen Elizabeth gave clear instructions to everyone. She said, we must move carefully and work together. Mark, David, Kyle, and Lisa formed the main exploration team. They carried supplies and tools. The humans moved across rocky plains and through thick forests. They encountered strange creatures and rough terrain. The humans climbed cliffs and crossed rivers. They faced strong winds and sudden storms. Every human knew the risks, yet they moved with courage. Mark slipped on a loose stone, but he got up quickly. He smiled. Oh, that is a scratch, he said. Again, David helped him steady his balance. Kyle found a narrow path through sharp rocks. He guided Lisa, and they moved carefully. The humans faced heavy rain and cold winds. They found shelter in a small cave for the night. They made a fire and checked their wounds. Some had bruises and small cuts, but no one complained. They laughed quietly and shared food. The alien doctors observed them closely. They were fascinated by how humans continued without fear or hesitation. The next day, the humans continued deeper into the forests. They found strange plants and small animals. Mark and David collected samples while Kyle and Lisa mapped the area. The humans carried injured team members without stopping. They showed teamwork and strength. The alien doctors scanned them and wrote notes. They could not understand how humans could endure so much and still keep moving. Queen Elizabeth planned missions. Carefully, she assigned different teams to check cliffs, rivers, and caves. John and Alex repaired machines and shelters at the colony. The humans stayed connected. They sent reports and shared resources. Mark led a team to a dangerous canyon. He guided David and Kyle. They climbed rocks and crossed narrow ledges. Some stones were loose, but they moved steadily. They found a hidden valley with small pools of water. Humans cheered quietly. They had discovered a safe place for future missions. Lisa checked the river for food sources. She found fish and small plants. She packed samples and reported back to Queen Elizabeth. The humans faced challenges constantly. Some fell and hurt themselves, but they quickly got up and continued. They encouraged each other and shared strength. The alien doctors watched and recorded every detail. They began to realize that humans were built for endurance and courage. Mark fell from a low cliff. He landed on rocks and shook his head. He laughed softly. "Oh, that is a scratch," said again. David helped him up. They continued exploring the valley. Kyle noticed a path leading to another area. He guided the team carefully. The humans faced strong winds. In a sudden storm, they held on to each other and moved to shelter. They used teamwork to survive the weather. The alien doctors were amazed at how humans faced danger without fear. They could not hide their astonishment. Queen Elizabeth led a planning session. She assigned Mark and David to explore further into the valley. Lisa and Kyle would check the forest edges. John and Alex would strengthen the shelters and machines. The humans prepared for the next mission. They checked supplies and shared food. They trained for climbing and river crossing. The humans moved steadily. They lifted fallen rocks, cleared paths, and helped each other with heavy loads. Every human knew that courage and teamwork were more important than fear. The alien doctors observed quietly. They began to understand that humans could endure what no other species could. The humans rested at night. They shared stories about the day. Mark spoke about the hidden valley and his falls. He laughed softly. "Oh, that is a scratch," he said again. The humans smiled. They admired his courage and wanted to be strong like him. Queen Elizabeth looked at her people. She felt proud. She said, "We face dangers with courage, and we will continue to explore and survive." The humans nodded. They felt ready for more adventures. They were inspired by each other and guided by Queen Elizabeth. They knew the planet was harsh, but their courage was stronger than any challenge. The humans faced a new challenge as they moved deeper into the valley. The terrain became rough and dangerous. Queen Elizabeth led the team. She was calm and gave clear directions. Mark, David, Kyle, and Lisa formed the main team. They carried supplies and helped each other climb the cliffs. The humans faced sudden storms, strong winds, and falling rocks. They worked together to stay safe. Mark slipped on a wet stone. He fell heavily, but got up quickly. Smiled. "Oh, that is a scratch," he said again. David helped him steady his balance. Kyle and Lisa moved carefully through narrow paths. They lifted fallen rocks and cleared obstacles. The humans encountered sharp stones and thorny bushes. Some were scratched or bruised, but they kept moving. The alien doctors observed closely. They recorded everything. They could not understand how humans could endure so much and keep going. Queen Elizabeth assigned teams to explore different areas. Mark and David went to the upper cliffs. Kyle and Lisa checked the rivers and lower paths. John and Alex strengthened the shelters and repaired machines at the colony. The humans faced an accident while climbing the cliffs. Several humans slipped and fell. Some broke bones and others were bruised. The humans did not panic. They helped each other and continued their work. Mark lifted a fallen human and helped him walk. Lisa and David carried supplies and tended to the injured queen. Elizabeth remained calm. She guided the humans and gave instructions. She said, "We keep moving and help each other." The alien doctors were shocked. They had never seen a species face pain and injury without fear. They observed how humans treated each other with care and courage. Mark fell again while exploring a narrow ledge. He hit rocks but got up smiling. "Oh, that is a scratch," he said quietly. David helped him continue the climb. Kyle and Lisa encouraged each other and moved safely. The humans explored caves and rivers. They discovered new plants and animals. They collected samples and mapped the area. They worked together, lifting heavy stones, clearing paths, and supporting the injured. The alien doctors followed them carefully. They recorded the humans' actions and reactions. They began to understand that humans were brave and strong. Humans rested at night around small fires. They shared stories and laughed about small accidents they had faced during the day. Mark told about falling from the cliffs and smiling. The humans admired his courage and bravery. They felt inspired to be strong like him. Queen Elizabeth gathered the humans. She spoke about the future missions and the dangers ahead. She said, "We face challenges together, and we will succeed." The humans nodded. They felt ready for more adventures. They knew the planet was harsh, but their courage and teamwork were stronger than any obstacle. Mark led his team. To a narrow canyon they climbed carefully, and checked each step. They helped each other over rocks and sharp edges. The humans discovered hidden paths and small streams. They collected food and water, and returned to the colony. Safely, the alien doctors watched quietly. They were amazed at how humans worked together and faced danger without fear. The humans repaired machines and shelters at the colony. They shared food and treated the injured. Everyone helped each other and stayed strong. Queen Elizabeth looked at her people. She felt proud. She said, "We have shown courage and strength. We will continue to explore and survive." The humans smiled. They were ready to face whatever challenges the planet would bring. They moved together with courage and determination, inspiring each other to be brave and strong. The humans prepared for a final exploration. The planet had many dangers, but Queen Elizabeth led them with courage. She gave clear instructions and assigned teams. Mark, David, Kyle, and Lisa were ready for the mission. They carried supplies and helped each other climb steep cliffs and cross rivers. The humans faced storms and strong winds. They moved carefully and stayed together. Mark slipped on a loose rock. He fell heavily but got up smiling. "Oh, that is a scratch," he said again. David helped him steady his balance. Kyle and Lisa lifted fallen rocks and cleared paths. The humans discovered a hidden valley with plants and water sources. They collected samples and marked locations for future use. The alien doctors followed them closely. They recorded every detail. They were amazed at how humans faced danger without fear. Humans encountered a dangerous canyon. They had to climb and jump over sharp rocks. Some were scratched and bruised, but they continued working together. Mark helped David and Kyle cross the canyon safely. Lisa checked the river for food sources. She found small fish and plants. She packed them carefully and brought them back to the colony. Queen Elizabeth guided the humans. She gave instructions and encouraged everyone to stay strong. The humans rested at night around small fires. They shared stories and laughed about small accidents. Mark told about falling from cliffs and smiling. He said, "Oh, that is a scratch." Again, the humans felt inspired by his courage and bravery. They admired his strength and wanted to be like him. The next day, the humans faced a rocky plateau. They had to climb and carry heavy equipment. They worked together, lifting stones and helping injured humans. They discovered new plants and small water pools. They collected samples and mapped the area. Mark and David explored deeper caves. They found minerals and small creatures. They carefully brought samples back to the colony. Kyle and Lisa checked the forest edges and rivers. They found plants and animals that could be used for food and medicine. The humans moved steadily. They helped each other and stayed strong. They faced injuries and pain, but no one complained. The alien doctors observed quietly. They were learning that humans could endure what no other species could. Humans repaired shelters and machines at the colony. They worked quickly and shared supplies. They treated injured humans and encouraged each other. Queen Elizabeth looked at her people. She felt proud. She said, "We have shown courage and strength. We faced dangers together, and we will succeed." The humans smiled. They were ready for more adventures. They knew the planet was harsh, but their courage and teamwork were stronger than any challenge. Mark led his team to a hidden valley. He guided David and Kyle carefully. They discovered a safe place for water and food. They marked the area for future missions. The alien doctors were amazed at how humans moved and worked together without fear. They recorded every detail and began to respect human courage. The humans celebrated a successful mission. They shared food and talked about the dangers they faced. They laughed about small accidents and admired each other's bravery. Queen Elizabeth spoke about the human spirit and strength. She said, "Humans are built to endure, survive, and explore. They face pain with courage and never give up." The humans felt proud and ready for more adventures. They knew they could overcome any challenge. They had faced many dangers and injuries, but they continued to move and work together. Mark smiled at his people. He said, "We are humans. We keep moving no matter the pain." The humans nodded. They felt inspired. They were strong, brave, and ready to explore more of the planet. The alien doctors left with respect and admiration. They had learned about human endurance, courage, and teamwork. They would never forget the human spirit and strength. The humans looked at the horizon. They knew many dangers awaited them, but they were ready. They would face everything together with courage, strength, and determination.